Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are stepping into a really specific and, well, a rapidly expanding corner of the wellness industry, body contouring.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a set of sources all focused on something called ContourIQ, which has this really unique distinction of being Australia's first trademarked technique in body sculpting.
And that phrase right there, trademarked technique,
Yeah.
that's the key thing we need to hold on to for this whole deep dive.
Right.
We're not talking about some new flashy machine that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're talking about a formalized, structured system.
And our sources confirm it was developed by Tanya White. She's the founder of Body Slim.
Right.
And what's fascinating is where it came from.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't engineered in some corporate lab. It was born and then refined right on the shop floor inside a working salon in Ballarat, Victoria.
3 years of real-world application, absolutely. So I think the mission for us today is to really understand how a methodology from a regional salon, how did it manage to get trademarked and then, well, basically conquer the global market?
Okay, let's unpack this.
It addresses this fundamental, this widespread gap in the industry, the lack of a structured, reliable process that's separate from the machines themselves.
So let's go straight to the root of it. When Tanya White started looking at the industry, building this method from, 2011 onwards, what was the standard approach missing?
The standard approach was entirely machine-centric. Totally.
Just focus on the box.
Exactly. The education was almost exclusively about the device. How many kilohertz, what the specific settings were, what the factory protocol said. The assumption was just use the machine right, get results.
But the sources are pretty clear that this left huge gaps. Gaps in profit, gaps in client satisfaction. What were the problems she was seeing over and over?
Well, she identified 4 major pain points that just killed retention and, profitability.
Okay.
The first one was the client plateau.
Right, where initial progress would just stop.
It would stop suddenly, and the technicians had no strategic next step. The second was wildly inconsistent results. Even with the same client, may be treated by a different technician.
Inconsistency is an absolute nightmare for a salon owner. It just destroys client trust. So what was the typical, and I'm guessing wrong, response to these plateaus?
The third pain point, technicians, they're frustrated, they don't see results, so they'd often default to just increasing the intensity.
Just crank up the dial.
Just turn up the dial. And the development of ContourIQ proved this is usually counterproductive. I mean, aggressive settings can cause discomfort, even risk, but they don't fix the real problem.
Which sounds like a quick fix when you don't have a proper structure. And that brings us to the fourth, and I guess the critical issue, that ContourIQ was built to solve.
Precisely. The most critical failure was applying these high-powered modalities, these treatments, directly to unprepared tissue.
Okay.
It's like trying to run a marathon without stretching.
Or baking a cake without preheating the oven.
Perfect analogy. The foundational work just wasn't being done. And that made the expensive main treatment less effective, less consistent, and way less predictable.
So the whole point of ContourIQ is, it sounds simple, but it's brilliant. Introduce a mandatory, structured pre-treatment phase.
Yes.
A phase that maximizes the efficiency and the predictability of whatever main tool you choose to use.
It's the move from protocol focus, just reading instructions off a machine, to a structure focus, which is about understanding the physiological journey the tissue needs to take.
And this wasn't a theory from a textbook.
Not at all. This system was forged over years of trial and error in that working Ballarat salon, treating thousands of real clients until that sequencing just became repeatable, reliable.
Okay, so that brings us to the core principle, the mechanics of it.
Right. So the central repeatable concept is this. Preparing the tissue before applying that primary modality dramatically improves the effectiveness. It's the difference between trying to break up frozen ground and working with soil that's been carefully tilled.
I like that analogy. So instead of just hitting the tissue cold with, say, fat cavitation or radiofrequency, ContourIQ says you must do a specific prep phase.
A mandatory prep phase.
Using low-level light, that sounds pretty technical, but what is the light actually doing to, prepare the body for the main event?
It's actively signaling to the tissue, to the cells. The prep stage supports 3 essential outcomes.
Okay.
First, tissue readiness and permeability. Second, it enhances the fat cell responsiveness, making them more receptive to the main treatment. And third, and this is critical, it supports lymphatic movement.
For waste removal.
Exactly. If the waste can't leave, the results won't stick.
So it's the structured sequencing that makes it an intelligent method, not just an extra step. Okay. Let's get into the specifics of the light. The sources mentioned 2 different nanometers. Why 2?
Because the application is strategic. You have red low-level light, which is commonly around 635 nanometers,
Okay.
and you have green low-level light around 532 nanometers. The training teaches you how to use them.
And what's the functional difference between the red and the green?
Well, the 635 nanometer red light is traditionally used to penetrate a bit deeper. It's key for optimizing that tissue permeability, for signaling the fat cells to, get ready for work.
Right.
The green light, on the other hand, at that shallower 532 nanometer wavelength, it often has a different supportive role, maybe for superficial tightening, maybe addressing vascular issues. It depends on the client's goals. It's specific light used strategically.
That depth of knowledge is really what separates a system from just a protocol. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting from a business perspective. If I'm a salon owner, and I've already sunk major capital into my equipment, my fat freezing machine, my cavitation device, do I have to scrap it all to adopt ContourIQ?
Absolutely not. And that is perhaps the biggest strategic advantage it offers. It is designed to be modality agnostic.
So it doesn't care what machine I use.
It acts as the preparation stage regardless of the primary device you choose. It works seamlessly with all 4 of the major professional body contouring modalities already out there.
So we're talking fat cavitation and radiofrequency skin tightening?
Yep.
Muscle stimulation devices? BBL vacuum therapy, which is huge for butt lifting and shaping and fat freezing.
That's the full list. ContourIQ enhances every single one of those. So a salon maximizes the value of the machinery they already own.
That's a huge selling point.
It is. They're investing in a system of knowledge that makes their equipment perform better, rather than just buying new equipment.
Changes the whole equation. It's not about capital expenditure. It's about intellectual property. So walk me through the actual process. A client walks in. What are the 3 steps?
It's completely systematic, which makes it easy to manage. Step 1 is the mandatory low-level light preparation.
Red or green.
Red or green, sequence for that client's goal. Step 2 is the application of the chosen primary modality, the main treatment itself.
And step 3 has to be about the long game, right?
Yeah.
Results happen over time.
Step 3 is the continuation of that structured treatment plan across all the sessions. It ensures that the preparation, the sequencing, the follow-through, it's all continuous and reliable. The client knows what to expect, and the practitioner has a clear checklist for success.
So beyond the clinical side of it, what are the big business implications here? Why should a practitioner care enough to invest in the training?
Because it shifts their offering from just a commodity service to a premium signature service. By formalizing the whole process, ContourIQ drastically improves the consistency of results. And that is the single biggest driver of client retention and referrals.
So they stop selling time on a machine and they start selling a proven, branded system.
Exactly. It allows salons to create signature treatment programs that set them apart. And because they're enhancing their existing services with a trademarked, recognized methodology, it justifies positioning those treatments at a higher premium price point.
You're selling a certified result, not just a service.
That's it.
Okay, let's talk about access. If this is a detailed, systematic method, the training has to be pretty robust, but also accessible.
It is, and the sources detail 3 really clear pathways. The most comprehensive one is the ContourIQ masterclass.
The full toolkit.
The full toolkit. It covers a complete framework, all 4 modalities, the light preparation, sequencing, everything. It's ideal for someone looking to, revamp their entire sculpting menu.
And then you've got more tailored options for specific machines.
Yes, the single modality courses. So if a practitioner is just starting out in, say, fat freezing, they take that course, and it has a dedicated ContourIQ module baked right in. They learn the machine and how to correctly integrate the prep stage from day 1.
But the business genius here, and I'm guessing this is the accelerator behind its global spread, is the 3rd pathway, the ContourIQ upgrade.
This is strategically brilliant. For practitioners who've been trained for years in things like fat cavitation, they don't need to start from scratch.
Right.
They can access the essential ContourIQ framework, the prep, the sequencing, the advanced application as a rapid upgrade.
For how much?
For only $129.
Wait, that's a massive reduction in the barrier to entry. For $129, they can immediately integrate this globally recognized, trademarked system, enhance results with their existing machines, and start charging a premium.
That's how you get rapid global adoption.
No kidding.
Absolutely. And that ease of adoption is what has fueled its expansion from Ballarat across all of Australia, New Zealand, the EU, the United States.
And that reach is backed by some serious credibility. The trademark itself is key. because that certification confirms the practitioner has done the authorized training and they're applying the method correctly.
That certification acts as a major marker of advanced training that clients are actually starting to look for. And on top of that, BodySlim, the provider, has been recognized as Australia's #1 body sculpting training academy. The technique's been featured in major U.S. publications. That's international validation.
And the clearest sign of success, the sources say, is that clients are now walking into salons and asking for ContourIQ by name.
That's the ultimate goal.
They aren't asking for generic treatment. They're asking for this specific branded system.
That is the ultimate goal for any methodology, right? To become synonymous with reliable, predictable results. What began as a local effort to solve these persistent in-salon problems
Right, refined through years of real clients.
is now formalized, trademarked, and internationally recognized. It's really more than a technique. It's a proprietary method, a comprehensive system, and, well, a legacy created out of necessity.
So we connect this to the bigger picture. The success of ContourIQ just reiterates the undeniable value of structure and intelligent preparation over, brute force intensity.
It really does. It proves that applying foundational physiological principles like preparing tissue before you treat it is so much more powerful than just turning up the dial on a machine.
It's the power of intellectual property that comes directly from deep, continuous real-world practice.
Exactly.
And this leaves us with a provocative thought for you to consider. We all know the names of high-end machines, but as specialized services grow, how much will standardized, trademarked methodologies like ContourIQ come to dominate the future of wellness services? I mean, think about how often you encounter a service that's named by the method, not just the equipment used to deliver it.
It's a major shift.
It really is. And if you're looking to explore the official training pathways for this, whether it's that comprehensive masterclass or that crucial $129 upgrade, all the authorized training is delivered exclusively through BodySlim's website. You can find that at bodyslim.com.off, training-academy. Thanks for diving deep with us.